when you were 2 years old, you did not know that you did not know how to drive a car. Frustration, madness, and all the other kind of stuff, depression, anxiety, negativity, to protect ourselves, where you could be conscious enough to learn today, to talk today, to alter your destiny today, you are successful already. All this time, think about it this way, all this time you have been getting prepared to do this workshop. At this time, you might feel like, I don't know, but take it from me. All this time, you have been getting prepared to do this workshop, to use these tools, use this, not just techniques, use this message to take your life to the next level. Because it's really important that you all get 1,000% value. I am so committed to bringing you 10 times value from this call, from this program, right? So listen with the 3 following questions in mind. Over the years, trying and testing different trainings and all the other stuff, I learned one thing. It's not even about the training sometimes. It's about what are the questions that you ask before the training. Each time before you start the training, what questions do you ask? And it's based on that you find the answer. So the first question that you need to be asking, how can I use this message to break through the major challenges in my life? How can I use this message to break through the major challenges in my life? Always asking that question as you're going through this program. Because your mind's normal tendency is to say, oh, I might have heard this before, but I might not be, as in, I might not be sharing the same information, but mind will say, oh, I have tried this before. Because that's a trap you don't want to fall into. That's why we need to see the bigger picture of what I'm trying to say. And sometimes that means you might need to listen to it another time, a third time, because as you learn, and I'm going to teach about different levels of learning in a second, but once I teach that, you will understand that you need to understand it in a deeper level in order for this change to sustain in your life. For example, if you have anxiety, if you have depression, or if you are going through a chronic negativity in your mind, things don't happen in one day. We need to condition your subconscious mind in such a way that it is willing and ready to adapt to this new level of life. Second question, how can this message radically transform my life or business for good? So how is this message going to radically transform my life or business for good? Keep that question in your mind. How is this message going to radically transform my life or business? So write these questions down. Keep asking this question as we train. Third thing is, how can I guarantee my victory? Because I want you to guarantee your victory. And that's what we want. We want a guaranteed success and claim my unique fortune with this message. So we all are here to give back to humanity. We are selected by universe, God, to give back to humanity and create a fortune in the process, whether it is your job, your business, or the book that you want to write, or the book that you want to influence and become an international bestseller, whatever that is. We are here to claim your unique fortune. So how can I guarantee my victory and claim my unique fortune with this message? With that, I want to talk about 4 levels of learning. This is really, really important. Why? Because a lot of people are stuck in level 1 and level 2 of learning, right? And you will understand what I mean by that in a few seconds. So the first level of learning is this: unconscious incompetence. So I'm going to explain it in a very, very simple way. Although this is an advanced concept, I want to make it explain it in a very simple way. Let's say when you are born as a child, when you were 2 years old, you did not know that you did not know how to drive a car, right? When you're 2 years old, you did not know that you did not know how to drive a car. That is unconscious. You are not conscious that you don't know how to drive a car. And you're incompetent. You have an incompetence in terms of driving, but you don't know that. Make sense? The next level of learning is Maybe by the age of like, if you live in America, by the age of like 10 or 9 or 7 or something, you realize that you don't know how to drive, right? So at that level, it is conscious. You are conscious that you're incompetent, right? So you are conscious about your incompetence, right? So that point, you know, oh, I don't know how to drive a car. That is conscious incompetence. Got it? Third one, conscious competence. This is when you are 16 years of age, you're barely driving, you're very conscious, you are behind the wheels driving, and you are very, very aware of it. You are like stiff, like a dog, you know, traveling in a car, and then you're looking around, always looking at the signals, always looking left and right. Is anybody coming and hitting me? Should I be careful, more careful about the pedestrians? You're very, very conscious about things, right? You know how to drive, but you need to be really conscious when you're driving it, because you don't know how to drive. You don't know quite well. But if you keep on driving like that, after some time, you reach a point where you become unconsciously competent. So at that point, you start your car this morning. Obviously, if you drove to your work or business today, you started your car, you didn't even pay attention when you reversed in your driveway, and then you started driving. You didn't even pay attention to your driving as much. You pay enough attention to make sure that you are safe, but it became an unconscious competence for you. And that's the level of learning, and with anything that you do in life. For example, overcoming anxiety or depression, or overcoming chronic negativity, or overcoming any other obstacle that is standing on your way. Oftentimes people come to the realization that, oh, I have depression, I need to overcome that. I have anxiety, I need to overcome that. I have chronic negativity, negative thinking, and I need to overcome that. That is conscious incompetence, right? Now you know that you need to fix this. Usually people who go back to those patterns, people who go back to that patterns don't reach level 4 of learning. They reach level 3 and they go back. They become consciously competent, and they keep on practicing for some time. If after a few days, they went to a therapist, they went to a doctor, they took some medicines, and they are consciously competent for like 3 days, and they go back. And that's what we want to avoid. That's why we need to reach the level of unconscious competence. Let me cover this thing. I'm going to talk about why doesn't law of attraction work for most people. If you're not familiar with what law of attraction is, there is this fascinating movie called Secret, and the book called Secret, and then so many literature in the last 3,000 to 3,000 years about attracting. You attract what you want into your life. That's a basic premise of self-help. That's a basic premise of self-development. You attract what you focus on. But people have been trying to get rich, people have been trying to be happy, people have been trying to be joyous, but it doesn't work for them. Why? Why most people don't succeed in life? A lot of people don't succeed in life. Why some people keep struggling and struggling while others succeed time and again? What is the difference that makes the difference? Right. So if you know why these things happen, then we can figure out how to overcome those and succeed most of the time. And that's why we should know. And if you don't know why people succeed or fail, you're doing a trial and error, right? At that point, failure and rejection can become your eternal friend. We don't want that. That's why we are doing this program. That's why I'm going to share this message with you today. All right. I have 2 outcomes for today. 1, teach you the guaranteed success formula. And let me tell you, take a quick second to tell you why I'm teaching guaranteed success formula. Because I very rarely see people who are like extremely successful. They're making $1 million in a year, or they're so happy, they have the best life ever, and still think that, oh, I'm so anxious. I think negative all the time. People have challenges. So that's why once you overcome these challenges, the obstacles that are in your way to your victory, you need to have goals that empower you to stay in that level of unconscious competence. So the second thing that I'm going to cover is help you self-diagnose. It's going to be cool because the thing is like, let's say 2 years from now, you have a similar problem. You might not have me as your guide. That's why I want you to learn how to self-diagnose the root cause of the obstacle that is keeping you stuck. Because I want you to learn that, so in the future, you could be the teacher. Okay, we discussed about the concept of homeless world. This is something that as I was meditating, I thought about this, and this metaphor came to me, is that most of us have homes. Most of us have homes that we could go back to. But the challenge with the world is we don't have an emotional home where we could go back to. We forgot that we have an emotional home that we could go back to. We came to this planet joyous, happy, excited, thrilled, passionate about life. But we learned all this, excuse my language, we learned all this shit that emotional, like the anger, frustration, madness, and all the other kind of stuff, depression, anxiety, negativity, to protect ourselves. It's not the negativity that is the challenge. The challenge is we learn these habits of emotions that we need to unlearn right now, right? So we all need to come back to our home each night and each morning so that we could be at emotional peace. Because if you are coming back to a home today, what you call as home today, physically, emotionally, we need to do that. One of my role models, Daniel Siegel, has this metaphor. You brush your teeth every day. Most of you brush your teeth every day. True? But do you brush your mind every day? Or do you brush your mind every time you go to a therapist? That's not enough. We need to find our emotional home. You are a gladiator. You are a goddess already. And see that in you right now. Don't wait for like the age when you are 87 years old and when you maybe probably have $1 million in your bank account, you say, oh, I feel successful now. No, that's not enough. So now you're holding your life hostage for, let's say, 60 to 70 to 80 years until you feel that, you know what, I could feel successful finally. And I have seen like celebrities, extremely successful actors say that, oh, I'm still not successful. So what should happen in order for you to be successful if 3 billion people know you? We don't need to wait like that. We don't need to cheat ourselves of the privilege of feeling successful already. You are successful already. And I'm going to go deep into this in the coming weeks, but I just want you to have this metaphor right now. Feel that you are a goddess. You are a gladiator already. You don't need to become one gladiator. You are already extremely successful. Cool. With that, the next one is the same thing. Like, one of my clients, Kerry, on 2014, when I met her, she was making $210,000 a year as a business owner. And that was her pretty much the net income, I think. Yeah. So if not, like she was netting around 175 with some expenses. And she said, I feel like a failure. Do you know that 99% of the people in this planet don't make even $60,000 a month? I mean, $60,000 a year? And this person who makes let's say $200,000 a year, she comes back to me and say, I feel like a failure. I don't know. I don't feel successful. Guys, we don't need to make a certain amount of money. We don't need to make a certain amount of status quo. We don't need to write a New York Times bestseller. We don't need to, do a certain things in order for you to be successful. The fact that you woke up today, you are successful. Where you could be conscious enough to learn today, to talk today, to alter your destiny today, you are successful already. Accept that. So I want to cover 10 reasons why a lot of people don't achieve their goals. So I'm going to cover each of them in detail, but because we need to know why people don't achieve why people don't succeed, in order for us to understand failure, so that we could learn how to be successful. So these are the 10 things that I have observed. I'll go through each of them. One, not having emotional reasons to achieve them. This I found to be really important, because what happens is, people who have achieved big time, they always had a deep emotional reasons why they needed to achieve that. People set goals, they ignore them. People who give up on their goals, they haven't found their reasons why. Because if you have an emotional reason, if it's about your son, if it's about your daughter, if it's about your loved one, we do more for other people than we do for ourselves. So find an emotional reason in order for you to achieve your goal. And again, we'll go deep into this in the future. Second thing is not enough clarity about the goal. I want to make $100,000 a month. I want to have a New York Times best-selling book. I want to be joyous. These are general goals. These are dreams, basically. We need to have a specific date. We need to have a specific number. Let's say 100,000 is too rational for your mind. Maybe make it $99,780 per month. Or specifically, how many books do you want to sell? Or how are you going to measure your joy when you're joyous, when you're happy? Got it? Bringing a lot of clarity. People don't have clarity. Third one, their goals are either too easy or extremely difficult. So if it's too easy, you know what happens? You are not motivated to doing it. If it's extremely difficult, you see pain when you think about your goals. That is the third reason. Fourth one, not feeling worthy to achieve this goal, seeing themselves as a failure. Remember, I told you the same thing, right? We covered that already. Next one, focusing about pain as they think about their goals. Time and again, I have seen people who tell me, oh, I want to make $1 million. I want to do this. I want to be legendary. I want to be this person who changes the world. But when they think about that, they feel pain. So then how could their subconscious join their dream and help them achieve that goal? It's impossible. That's what we need to change. It should not be pain that you feel when you think about your goal. Next one, not having enough social support or people support. So they might be setting a goal, everybody around them, oh, you are crazy. You're absolutely crazy to think that you could make $100,000 a month, or you could be happy. Are you crazy? Our whole family is depressed. How could we be happy? Or a New York Times bestseller or international bestseller? Oh, no. Nobody from our city, nobody from our state have an international bestseller. Next one, not clarifying the next intelligent action. A lot of times, people set their goals and they dream about it, they visualize it, and they don't set a freaking next intelligent action. They don't know what to do next. They know how to visualize pretty good. They don't do anything about it, and they just sit down and watch the next TV show that attracts them. Next one, not visualizing their goals or not doing it consistently. People don't visualize their goals, might not get to their goals as fast as other people. And I feel that is so obvious. And the next one is like so important, which is visualizing their goals from anxiety. This is very relevant for most of you. Frustration, anger, negativity, or some other negative emotions. So if you are visualizing your goals from anxiety, frustration, anger, then what are you telling your mind? It is confused. It is thinking, your subconscious mind is thinking, oh, if I get this goal, I'll be anxious, even more anxious. If I get this job, then I'm going to be even more frustrated. Don't come back home before you do that. Finally, not visualizing the goal as something that has already achieved. And I have been guilty of doing this for, I should say, close to a decade. I have no idea how I missed this, but this is really powerful. thinking about the goal as if something that you're going to do. Okay, next time I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. That's what you're going to visualize. Instead of that, visualize that the goal has already been achieved. Visualize as if it has already happened in your life. Cool. Strategy to guarantee your success. So there are two elements there. One is we need to have the right strategy, and then we need to have the right mindset. So let's talk about the strategies. I told you this already, having emotional reason to achieve them. And each of you, when you sat down and when we set a goal, I said set a goal that is outside of your comfort zone. I'm not asking you to say, asking you to do, incredibly make $1 billion in 3 weeks. No, but something that is outside of your comfort zone. You need to feel a little bit scared when you think about this goal, and build a lot of clarity around your goal. That's what we're going to do now. The next one, write down who are you going to give back to when you achieve this goal. And you know what this does? This makes you feel worthy of having this goal. So write down, you are going to give back. How are you going to give back when you achieve this goal? Write down, who are you going to celebrate when you achieve this goal? Who are you going to celebrate with when you achieve this goal? And find an accountability partner. And after doing all those things, ask yourself the question, what is the next intelligent action to move towards my goal? Every time you think about your goal, what is the next intelligent action towards, so that we could move towards that goal, and do it. From a mindset standpoint, these are the 7 ways to guarantee your success. 1, visualize them every day morning and right before sleep for 9 minutes. And there are scientific reasons behind doing it right before you sleep. And it takes only 9 minutes to do that. Visualize them only after emotionally reaching home. Like I told you, this is something that people make mistake all the time. They visualize their goals with frustration. Do your heart breathing. Again, I covered this in the power ceremony, so you don't need to think too much about it. But come home emotionally before visualizing. Again, next one, visualize them as if it has already happened. As if it has already happened, not as something that is going to happen 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Although the goal is for like 15 years from now, imagine that has already happened. Visualize them with gratitude that it has already happened. Right now, take a moment right now. Imagine one of your goals. Maybe close your eyes if you need to. And even before imagining your goals, what do you need to do? Come home emotionally. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath into your heart and feel so much grateful that your goal has already been achieved. And emotionally feel certain and conduct life as if it has already happened. Open your eyes and relax. Emotionally feel certain and conduct your life as if it has already happened. You need to learn this message with the filter of powerful questions like, how can I use this to break through the challenges that I'm going through right now? See yourself as extremely successful already. Don't wait until you're 87 to feel successful.